Everybody, welcome to the City of Hudson Public Utilities Commission meeting. Jace, could you do the roll call, please?
Oh, I don't have the okay, Hassan, Nolan,
Present.
Paul,
here.
Lauren, Susie, you still with us?
Oh, sorry about that. I muted myself. Yes, here.
Okay. Preisel,
Here.
Wecken.
Okay, present.
So we've got the budget. There won't be no approval of minutes. That'll be done at the next regular meeting. So we've got the proposed discussion and possible action on the 2022 Water Department budget. The proposed budget is on a PDF. Any discussion?
All right, so can you guys see, oh, hold on here. Can you guys see my screen now? Or see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is what was sent. So basically we'll start with the 2022 proposed water budget. So this is what was sent with all the revenues, expenses by activity. This is just the budget summary page. If we go all the way down to the end, our total operating revenues that we're anticipating for 2022 are right here at $4,014,999. We've got total expenditures of $2,740,116 right here. If you take our depreciation of $1,073,970 out and you add in the $51,200 on non-operating revenues, it gives us a positive total for the year of $252,104. So that's good. So I don't know if anybody had any expense detail questions. I know everybody was pretty good about getting back to me on, I didn't move you guys. I just moved some stuff on my screen, but you can still see my screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know if anybody had any questions on any of the proposed budget that we had in here. It's just kind of a bunch of, we got some telemetry upgrades that we're going through, some rehab work at some of the plants that we got going on. We've got our tower inspections, main leaks, things like that, leaking services, hydrants, different hydrant things, valve replacement. A lot of it's the same. We're not doing any major projects this year in terms of street projects or tower maintenance, tower rehabs, anything like that. So it was pretty simple. One thing to note that I did put in my email to you guys is we are, or I am asking this year for another full-time administrative assistant and for billing. This would be split 50% water, 50% sewer. And then water actually breaks it down into this 17.8 on customer accounts, which would help out the billing side. And then it also breaks out the percentage here into the administrative general. So I don't know if you guys have questions, please just jump in. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of keep rolling through everything here. The upgrade HVAC programming at the service center, that came about. We actually, as of a couple months ago, they got rid of Flash Player. If everybody's kind of familiar with what Flash Player is on your computer, Flash Player is no longer supported or serviced by anyone. And our entire heating and cooling system is run on Flash Player. So what we need to do is have that program updated. I did get a couple of costs. We'll go out again and get some more costs next year, but this kind of gave us that budget number there of about $25,500. We're looking in the water at replacing truck number 4, which is a 1997 Chevy that we're looking to get rid of. So we got that in there. So them are your big ticket items. One thing I did want to go back to and discuss is increasing the on-call pay. So this is for water and sewer. So I'll just take care of both of them right now. Increase on-call pay from $25 a day to $50 a day. It would increase from $2,600 a year to $5,200 a year. So that's currently, approximately what we budget for weekends for the guys. So currently they're paid $25 on a Saturday. They're paid $25 on a Sunday. It's been that way I asked Jace, it's been that way since I've been here. And he said it's been $25 since he's been here. So,
Yep.
So it's been 20 plus years that has not changed. I think it's time that we look at that. We're expecting someone on call starts at 3:30 on Friday afternoon and goes until 7 o'clock Monday morning. So, they're putting quite a few hours in. Now they do come in and do their chores on the weekends, which they do get paid for and things of that nature. But this is for, to stick around town, be available at all hours of the day and night on them weekends, and answering phones, different things that might come up. If there's a storm, if we have a power outage, anything like that, they're required to be answering them phone calls, and going to that emergency or whatever we have going on. So I really don't see, given kind of boosting that up to $50 a day. I don't think that's asking a lot after about 20 years. So
what's
go
their
ahead.
rotation schedule, Kip?
I'm sorry.
What's their rotation schedule?
Water is on a 7 week rotation, 7 or 8 week rotation. So they take everybody gets a weekend and then they just rotate right through. So they're on about once every 2 months, usually they're on a weekend.
Mhm.
It's not always that way. If somebody has something going on, in terms of, hey, I got a wedding this weekend, I'm on call, they'll switch things around. They might trade a weekend with somebody, things like that. But yeah, they are on every weekend.
What's the industry standard for pay like this?
Where I came from, I want to say we were paying, was it $2.50 an hour, $3 an hour, something like that. So it was way more than what we're paying. I mean, I think $25, it works out to be $50 a weekend.
Yeah.
So, $50 to be on call, answer the phone, stay within a, 10-minute show up time, 10-15 minute show up time of the city of Hudson. I think we're getting off pretty cheap, actually.
Yeah. I'll make the motion to approve.
I have one more quick question. I was trying to get in there. So with the, if they actually end up working during that time, they're paid their hourly rate. Is that right or no?
They're paid time and a half to come in on the weekends. Yeah, it's above and beyond their 40 or 80.
Sure. Okay, got it.
This is David. I've got a couple of quick questions too. Under expense by activity,
where do you want me, David?
Line 35, administrative general.
On the page I'm on? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, line 35. What was the increase under administrative and general for? Why was it so high on that line?
I'm assuming Allison might be able to chime in a little bit on this too, but your administrative general should be adding in the new administrative secretary, I believe. And they're also adding is it a full-time, Allison, accountant to City Hall that
Yes.
we do pay a portion of that?
Yes, correct.
So
I would
it's an
say
employee.
I would say it's probably those two.
Does that fall under the personnel item or is that something different? Line 43.
Can you scroll up, Kip? Because I can't see. It only shows 63 through 122 on my screen.
Yep.
Is that better?
No, not yet.
Nope.
Yeah, see, I can't see what you guys are seeing, so.
Yeah, it's not moving at all. I'll try and pull it up on my phone.
Yeah, I can't see what you guys are seeing, so I apologize for that. Oh, hold on. Why does it say I'm paused? Oh, sorry. I might have clicked something here. How's this?
Oh, there it
go.
moves.
There it
All
is.
right. I don't know what I clicked something there.
So
So
line 43 is personnel. Completely.
That relates right back to the water department, correct?
all that's
This
a
is-
personnel total. So that's all as line 43 is all personnel expenses for water.
Including the accountant wages?
Included a portion of the accountant
Okay.
wages.
Okay, very good. Oh,
and this
very
is
good.
just water that we're looking at right now, David.
Yes.
Correct. Yep. Yeah. And then contractual services has taken a fairly big leap too, $122,000.
Right
Line
here.
44.
I'm sure we could probably go through. I mean, I could probably find it in my expense detail where we went up.
Yeah, I couldn't find it, but that's okay. I just, just so we're looking at it and that's again, $122,000 in a year contractual services solely for water seems high. So,
Well, that could be including any engineering services that we have, any attorney services that we have, any outside firm that we would hire, anybody outside of our staff
sure.
would fall into that category. So
Are we expecting more attorney's fees for 2022?
not in water. No, not much in water.
Okay.
But the 36,000 was, landfill monitoring and lawn care.
Get up here. Is that what you're talking about, David?
Yeah, that explains some of it. So just again, seems like a fairly large number. So we can talk again later, Kip. That's okay.
Okay. So any other questions on water?
No, to clarify, my motion was only about increasing the on-call pay. It wasn't
Okay.
about the whole budget.
I'll second that.
All right, Pat, you want to take a roll call or a
Roll
voice
call on
vote
that vote.
Want
I'll
a
go
roll
along
call
with
vote?
that.
Okay. Now this is for the
This is for increasing, the motion was to increase the on-call pay from 25. Are you making this for water and sewer, Joyce?
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
it would be to increase the on-call pay from $25 a day to $50 a day.
okay.
Starting, I'm assuming starting 2022.
Starting January 1st, 2022.
Yes, okay.
Okay, I'll go down the roster. Nolan,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Orem,
Yes.
Kreisel,
Yes.
Wecken.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so then is there any other questions on water? Otherwise, we would be looking for a motion to accept the 2022 budget or water budget as presented and move it forward to city council for approval.
So moved, Kip.
You don't want to repeat that, David?
Repeat that.
I'll
No, I do
second.
not.
So motion by David, second by Susie, or was that Joyce?
Joyce.
Joyce?
Yeah. The other thing I'd like to bring up is you've got replacing truck number 4. And I'd like to suggest that you look into, instead of gas powered trucks, looking at electric trucks.
Yeah, and just to further on that, Joyce and I had a conversation today. She had kind of let me know that police was looking at possibly going to try some electric vehicles this year and things like that. The concern I had was I just don't know enough about these electric vehicles yet. Or electric trucks, I guess, is what we'd be looking for. Not opposed to them. I just don't know if I really am comfortable being the first one for the city of Hudson to actually purchase one. So I will be talking to Jeff Willems, the police chief, and kind of get some input on what he's thinking for his department, and we can kind of go from there. If we're budgeting this year, I think, what was it, 45,000, I think, here for the vehicle. I'm pretty confident that we're not going to get an electric vehicle for 45,000. So it could be, you know, maybe next year if we need trucks, or the year, but you know, the year after that maybe.
Or we could adjust the budget.
Or you guys could adjust the budget at some point also, correct, yes.
That'll be a great discussion topic throughout 2022.
Yeah. Aren't electric trucks in their first year?
That's correct.
I don't, yeah, see, and I don't know enough about them either.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable purchasing a first year electric truck, and especially in this climate.
And that's kind of why I said I'm gonna let the police department let's let them kink it out. You know, I guess maybe, and let's see what happens. You know, I'm not against them. I just don't know enough about them at this point. But yeah, we'll definitely note that, Joyce.
Okay, thanks.
So you have a motion. You had a second. So
Yes.
Jason, was there any other discussion on that? No discussion. Then Jace, do you want to take a roll call on this, please?
On for what now?
For accepting did you get, so the motion was
2022 water budget approval.
Yep, accept the 2022 water proposed water budget and send on to City Council for
the water. Okay.
For approval.
Okay. Nolan?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Coram?
Yes.
Kreisel?
Yes.
Wecken?
Yes.
Okay, so now then we'll move on. Sorry, Pat, if I'm jumping on your parade here, but
Well, it's already okay. We got that passed. So
Yep.
we got number 2. We've got discussion of possible action on the 2022 wastewater budget, and we'd like to discuss that now.
Perfect. So you guys can see my screen now. I've got the sewer up, I believe. Oh, hold on. Why that keeps doing that? Okay. Get rid of that one. Hold on. Now you're back to ugly old me here.
Come on, Kip, year and a half.
I know. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. How's that? How's that?
Looks good.
Okay, so you can see the wastewater one then?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so what you're looking at now is what was sent out. This is the proposed 2022 wastewater budget, the fund summary. So if we actually go to our projected revenues of $2,989,739, our project operating expenditures of $2,620,855, leaves us with $368,884 minus depreciation plus the non-operating revenues leaves us with a total of $161,894 for the end of the year.
What's included in non-operating revenues?
Allison?
You should know this by now, Kip. I am going to give you grief.
I'll take it.
We have interest. We have on the see, I'm looking at your screen is hard for me. There's not a lot for. I gotta go to the detail. It's on the detail page. Kip, if you want to switch to the detail page.
This one?
Tab. Yep. And if you scroll up to the top, all the way. So you can start seeing the ones that are not actually part of your actual operation there.
Thanks.
Yep.
So these?
Yes, correct.
What numbers are you looking at, Kip?
Right, I'm kind of circling them, David. Here, you see them?
Can you give me a line?
There you go.
Starting on line 23.
Line 23 down
Thank
to
you.
line 35.
Okay.
All right. So I'll just kind of run through just some of the highlights here on the wastewater side. Televising manhole repair. We're looking for a portable trash pump this year. With what happened last year, or actually this year with the power outage that happened down there. If it wouldn't have been for A1 construction being on site on Highway 35, we really would have been in trouble down there, since we use their trash pump. We do not have one that's a portable trash pump, so we're looking at getting that. Lift station repairs kind of always in there. Lift station retrofits are always in there. The Scada upgrade phase 1 is, hold on. I'll just kind of give you a brief overview of that. So most of our Scada at our lift stations is becoming obsolete. The stuff that's been in there is actually getting to the point that it's getting more difficult to find parts, different things like that to have it upgraded. So we are looking at upgrading the lift stations. This does include some repeaters. It includes some antennas, things like that are needed. We are getting new Scada down at the wastewater treatment plant as part of the wastewater treatment plant project. But this is actually this is more relation to the lift stations that are out there, the 14 lift stations that we have that are out there. So we're looking at getting them. The first phase of this project is $44,000 to get that upgraded. And then I will also talk later about some of the possible capital expenses that I've asked for, that we can discuss and you guys can make a decision on. So C12 scale, that's just a chlorine scale for down at the wastewater treatment plant. Sludge loadout pump. What a sludge loadout pump is, currently when the trucks come in to haul the waste down to Ellsworth to the biosolids plant. Right now we are, now I got to think here. Right now it's an 8,000 gallon truck that hauls from Hudson down to Ellsworth. Currently, the way that we put the wastewater on the truck is they have a suction hose on their truck that sucks it in, and we only can get about 6,000 gallons on there now. It foams, as they're pumping it and moving that stuff around, it actually foams up. So right now we're able to get about 6,000 gallons on compared to the 8,000 that we want on. And with this sludge loadout pump, we'll be able to get more. We'll be able to get closer to that 8,000 than the 6,000. And the reason that's important is, and Mary, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not looking at my email and I've got a lot on my mind, but next year we have a new trucking company coming in. So the biosolids facility contracted with a new trucking company. And currently we are billed by the load.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it will be by the gallon.
Yes. So currently today we're billed by the load. So if we send 2 trucks down there a day, we get billed for 2 trucks. Starting next year, we are going to be billed by the gallon. The new hauling company will be billing Ellsworth by the gallon, which in turn will turn around and bill us by the gallon. So we want to try to get as much on those trucks as we possibly can. So we can get that stuff down there for that reason. So that's pretty much what a sludge loadout pump is. Polyfeed, high dry humidifiers, just some humidifiers for down at the plant.
Sorry, Kip, I had a question about the loadout. We were talking about it, or the question I had asked. Number one, will the sludge have less water in it? Excuse me, because of the new, or the, large upgrade system?
It should. Yeah. Once the plant is done, if you go down there right now, the plant is operating, and our effluent that we're sending out, we're still meeting all of our limits, but currently it's with the way they have to switch things around because they're working on different parts of the plant and stuff like that. It's just really a mess down there. But yeah, with the new system, once everything is in place, we should actually, I'm not going to say it's going to decrease what we're sending to Ellsworth. It should be a better, a lighter product in terms of
it
water.
Should have less water in it with
Yes.
the centrifugal pumps, right?
Yes, in terms of water weight, it should be better. Yes.
Okay. So then the next question is, why wasn't this sludge loadout pump part of the upgrade?
Well, because we didn't need it until the biosolids down in Ellsworth. They just changed trucking outfits. I don't know, 3-4 months ago, I'd say, is when they actually went. So we didn't even know that any of this was coming. And we didn't know anything about that they were going to be switching from, the gallons to, or from the trucking to the per truck to gallons. So this is just something that Joe put in that he'd like to see, just because we can get more on a truck and send it down there. So it's part of the issue that we are running into, and it's the trucking is very vital, and it's extremely hard to find companies that actually will do this. They're taking care of 11 communities, and sometimes up to 22 communities, just with the amount of members and non-members that actually go to Ellsworth. So, the more we can do to limit the amount of trucks that we have to send down there, the better. It kind of frees some trucking up, things like that. So it was a thought after the wastewater treatment plant project was bid out, designed, bid out, and started. Okay, let's see, where are we here? Here we're showing the administrative assistant, the billing here. And then here we're looking at adding a vehicle to the fleet down there. We are not planning on getting rid of a vehicle down there. Currently we have four pickup trucks. We've got 5 guys, so we do run short days. One of the pickups that they do use is our plow truck. And I know I was talking to Pat about some of these trucks, 2 of them that we have. They're in town, they're fine. I just don't know if I'd be going down the interstate 70 miles an hour with one of these. But so we're looking just to add to the fleet, not actually replace on the sanitary sewer.
What about using the, I know it's a 94, but what's the condition of the water 94 Chevy? And moving that over to wastewater instead of buying a new truck right now until the, excuse me, the phases of Scada are done. You shouldn't need a truck per employee if all the monitoring's done at the wastewater treatment plant in real time. It's not
just daily monitoring that they need trucks for. I mean, there's multiple things that these guys are using trucks for. I guess.
But isn't somebody always at the wastewater treatment plant?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Isn't somebody always at the wastewater treatment plant?
No, not always. No, they're not. They're there most, I shouldn't even say most of the time. They're there to do their samples. They're there to do checks, things like that. But they are out, in the community, checking manholes. We get a lot of phone calls for backed up sewers where people, it's their laterals, different things like that. So they are out in the community for sure.
And the plow truck will be just for plowing.
Yeah, I mean, they
not run around with.
Right now they use it to run around in. I want to keep that plow truck because I'm not a fan of putting a plow on a brand new pickup. You beat them up. You're hitting things, curbs, different stuff like that. That's tough on them things. So that's kind of why I want to keep that plow truck down there. They'll use it, more or less for, if it'd be the last one to go out of the shop at the beginning of the day type thing. So. All right, any other questions on that? Otherwise, I do have some notes down here that I just wanted to throw out there for you guys.
I got a couple, Kip.
Sure, go ahead, David.
Just as we talk again about the personnel and things like that, the adding of the admin assistant, I'm going to assume that's 50-50.
Yes.
50 water, 50.
Correct.
The accountant, that's allocated throughout the city. That's correct.
Correct.
I know a few years ago we were going through that, and as we look through our budgets, 2021 actual, versus what we had budgeted, we're off quite a bit, and now we're jumping, to $181,000. Are all those allocations through the city all complete? I know at one time it was lopsided.
Oh, you're talking, yeah, where we were, the utility was paying a portion of other salaries in the, yeah, that's all been corrected.
That has all been corrected.
Yeah.
Okay, it just seems like, and again, we are adding more staff, more team members and things like that. So 36% in a year, but we're adding 2 and then a partial accountant. So are those broke down somewhere,
I do have the breakdown.
Say that again?
I do have allocations for all employees with the city.
Okay.
Anything else, David?
No, I think that should do it for me.
Okay. So what I've got here highlighted, the following items, these did not make it into the budget, but they are things that I wanted to discuss here tonight. But they would have to be paid out of capital reserves. So basically the portable generator, I know I had sent Pat some information on the portable generator. He had asked about that. Currently the one that we have one generator for, well, we have 14 lift stations. I believe 3 of them have permanent mount generators. So that leaves us 10 or 11 of them that we have to use portable on. When a couple months ago, when the city got hit with that power outage and all that kind of stuff, it was extremely difficult for them guys to keep up with the lift stations in that scenario. They were running around constantly pumping them things back down. So it would be nice to get a second portable generator in here. The one that we currently have is from, oh boy, you remember, Pat, what I told you off the top of my head, 70s?
1973, isn't it?
73? Yeah, I thought it was from the 70s. So, it's getting up there in age, and that's one thing we do. We don't ever want to be in a situation where we don't have a portable generator, available to us to in an emergency situation. So what I'd be looking for is 65,000 out of capital reserves to purchase a portable generator. The jet vac truck, we've talked about that for a couple of years. We've been trying to sneak it in here somewhere. It's a $600,000 item. I mean, it's not a cheap item, that's for sure. The one that we currently have, I should have been a little more prepared. I'm sorry. The one that we currently have had, let me try to find the hours on it, 5,000 some hours, I believe.
Or was it 4,600 hours?
Is that what it was?
Seems to me, yes.
So it's getting up there in age. One, it would be nice to have a bigger truck. That's for sure. This is a single axle that only holds a couple hundred gallons of water. So it would be nice to get that back up. The current truck is worth something, so we definitely would be trading that in. And this is always something, that you guys don't have to make a decision on these right now. They are not part of, like I said, they're not part of this year's budget. So we don't have to make a decision on them now, but they are things that I wanted to bring up, so if you guys decide, yeah, let's just throw the portable generator in there as a capital item, or the jet in there as a capital item. You can do that today, but you don't have to do that today in order to pass the budget. And then the Scada phase 2 and 3 actually takes care of all of the Scada issues that we would need for the lift stations. So that would bring us, we can do it in phases. We can do it in phase 1, like I have in the budget now. And then we could do phase 2, in a year, and phase 3 in 2 years from now. I just wanted to throw it out there if we wanted to do everything and get everything up and done in one shot. If we wanted to do that, Scada phase 2 and 3 would be an additional 132,000. So that would bring the total to what, 175 ballpark. Because we already have the 44,000. I have that already included in this year's budget. So questions on any of that?
I still think if you want to get the portable generator in, it might not be a bad idea to take that water truck that you're replacing with a new one and give that to the wastewater plant. So at least it's not as big a hit on the budget to get the generator in there.
And that's what your guys' decision are. You know, I put the truck in instead of the portable generator, but it's completely up to what this commission wants to do.
Do you realize if you are transferring an asset between utility or enterprise funds, there's going to be a book entry of some sort. So there will be an expense of some sorts to the sewer for whatever the fair value or whatever is. Because you are transferring between funds, you have to account for that. You can't just cross it over without any documentation and accounting for it. Because
basically,
paying for the other.
Right. So if the truck's worth $6,000, the sewer would have to pay the water $6,000 for it. That I did not know. So.
Well, do you have to go with a book value, or because it's between enterprises owned by the same entity, it could be a nominal fee of $1, good and considerable.
It would be best to do it by the book. So to have that number, a real asset, not a dollar.
And we can verify with the auditors, but I believe that it has to be a true accurate number because of otherwise you're funding one with the other. And then they have to be two separate complete entities as far as books go.
But wait a minute, if it comes off the water book and the sewer bought it, say it wasn't even sewer buying it, say it was on the open market and someone only gave you $500 for it. How do you account for that?
If it's a put up for auction, then it is whatever you get for it. But that's different. That's selling it outright away from the entity. It's not selling it to just transferring it to another and deciding on some. It has, like I said, we can verify with the auditors, but I would want to make sure because that is a legal requirement. Okay.
We'd go by Kelly Blue Book value or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we can look it up and you figure out based on actual where it fits as far as condition and all that kind of stuff. And it's a fair. It's not, doesn't mean you have to go to the highest end, but just that you have some documentation to where you got the number from.
Right.
So Kip, to keep this clean as possible, these three items, not including the two for Scada phase 2 and 3, are not currently in the budget, correct?
The portable generator, the jetback, and Scada phase 2 and 3 are not in the budget, correct?
And we'll be using completely different funds for those three purchases regardless, correct?
Well, we'd be using our capital reserves, correct?
Right, okay.
Yes. But like I said,
how much are in the capital reserves?
Our last cash expense was we'd have to figure out if we can actually use DNR replacement fund. I don't know, Allison, if you know off the top of your head.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, we'd have to do some.
In essence, it's cash. It's coming from your cash fund balance. I mean, in the end, whether you're moving it around between the different ones, but in the end, it's coming from your total cash.
Yeah. So long story short, we've about our last cash report, which we have paid a bunch of stuff out for the wastewater treatment plant, but we're still at $4,215,541.
Okay.
I say when
we have received one in.
I'm sorry, Allison. Say again, Allison.
We have received a reimbursement back into. So
okay, but I'm looking at the last one that we had from September. So
yep.
And then go ahead, David. I'm sorry I cut you off.
I think it'll be cleaner for tonight's purposes that these items then, when we're ready to purchase, come back to the commission.
Yeah. Oh, we definitely can do that. I just wanted to put them in here just for discussion tonight. So yeah, you guys you can pass the budget as is. These items here are not the portable generator, the jet vac, and Scada phase 2 and 3 are not included in the budget. So you're more, you can pass the budget tonight. We can take these up as they come. Yes, definitely.
Okay.
But it would just be a cash. It would be we would end up using capital for those. Yep. So I just wanted to make that clear. So any other budget questions on sanitary sewer?
Is there an advantage to putting those items into the budget then?
It would throw this number here off, Joyce. I couldn't do it. Well, I mean, I could throw the 65 in there, and that's going to bring it down to what, 90 some thousand.
Okay.
I mean,
so as long as it's coming out of,
definitely doable. You could throw Scada phase 2 and 3 in there, and it's going to bring your bottom line here down to what, 29,000.
Okay.
So it's it's definitely doable. If you want to put one of these in tonight, we can make that adjustment. You can pass the budget with that adjustment, and it would just change this bottom number here.
Is there any reason to do that?
It's completely up to you guys. I just always like when I present the budget, I like to have a positive with a little bit in there. I don't want to drag it right down to zero.
Yep.
But
all right, I'll make the motion to approve the budget.
I'll second.
The budget with these extra items added, or
no?
The budget as it was?
As presented.
As presented.
Okay. So budget as presented, and then any discussion on it?
I would just like to make a statement on line 253 legal services that if the city wishes to review the sewer agreement between the city and the village, the city budget should pay for that, not the ratepayers, not the utility funds.
What number was that, Mary?
Right here, David.
I know, what line?
I got it highlighted for you.
255.
255.
Thank you.
253, yeah.
Say that again, Mary.
I had asked a question about why the big increase in legal in the budget, and I got a couple reasons why, and one of the reasons was that the city wished to review the sewer agreement between the village and the city. And my point is that if the city wants to review the agreement, the city should be paying the legal fees, not the ratepayers from both municipalities. Not like what was done with the water, because the legal fees for the city side came out of the utility fund that North Hudson ratepayers also paid into. Plus they had to pay out of the village general fund. So if these agreements are going to be reviewed, costs should be taken out of the general funds of each municipality, or all the cost comes out of the utility fund.
Would that be a question for our auditors, Allison?
I think that's a question for the auditors and a question for the legal attorney.
Right. Okay. So we can clarify that before anything moves forward on that. Any other questions? Oh, sorry.
No, I just want to say I can't approve the budget without an answer to that question.
Well, there's a motion on the floor to approve it. There is a second to approve it. Any other discussion? Otherwise, Pat, if you want to call for roll call.
Jace, roll call vote, please.
Nolan?
Yes.
Hall?
Yes.
Coram?
Yes.
Preisel?
Yes.
Wecken?
No.
Okay, so budget passes, moving on to council. And that is all we have for tonight.
Move to adjourn.
Let me.
Second.
I don't think we need a roll call.
No.
Yes.
Just a voice vote would be fine.
Okay, all right.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night and go Packers. We still got time to catch the game. So
Have a good night.